It's the year 350 AD, and after a very long time of failed tests, the now single global superpower that is the Roman Empire is getting ready to launch its first manned space mission into the orbit of Earth. It instantly becomes a success, and the procedure of its space program is accelerated in order to gain as fast as possible of a foothold on the moon and beyond. The free energy devices that were eventually developed by the Roman Empire were set for the priority mainly for its imperial military space fleet. The first 10 new space legions were named after the known planets and the constellations of the night skies. The first of its kind of spaceships, the so-called battleships, were under the command of the ISN, the Imperial Space Navy. The names of each battleships began with acronyms ILBS, Imperial Legionary Battleships, followed by a number. The battleship's design was a mixture of a Roman trireme and a Tiger tank. Each battleship could carry up to 10,000 Legionary Space Marines, and each one was heavily armed with laser weapons and laser missiles along with the defense shield. With all this in place, the alternative historical Roman Emperor Theodosius Caesarius Romanus gave the order for the launch of the first battleships into the orbit and to head towards the moon, mainly the far side of the moon. With the usage of a free energy device on board each battleship would mean that the transportation time to the moon would only take about 10 minutes. The space mission control lied in Rome, where the Emperor Theodosius and all key personnel along with some military generals stood and watched from giant monitors the live feed from each battleship as they approached the moon. As the battleships eventually arrived and landed one by one on the surface of the moon, a scanning of the surrounding area of possible life was made. However, nothing came up, and the Legionary Space Marines unloaded, marched down onto the surface and began to explore the moon. The whole event was broadcast live for all its citizens. However, what the civilian population had no idea about was that the Imperial Secret Intelligence Ministry had acquired intelligence from the spy satellites in orbit of the moon that had been set up several years prior to launch, that there were actual alien ships flying around in and out of the moon, and that footage showed gigantic alien structures all over it. The actual mission of the Legionary Space Marines was to conquer at all costs the moon, capture any alien life forms and alien technologies in order to conduct experiments and research in order to further advance its military for further space conquests. As the minutes passed, the first wave of Legionary Space Marines that were at the furthest distance from the landing zone had the main mission to locate and acquire at all costs any alien technologies. With their laser weapons at hand and defensive shields covering their three-colored armor in the colors of red, gold, and silver, the first wave soon entered upon the far side of the moon. The far side turned out as the intelligent reports had indicated that giant alien base lay there, and that multiple different kinds of spaceships in all kinds of sizes were seen arriving, flying in and out of the planet's base. The first wave reported back to mission control over a secure line that the intelligence had now been confirmed and that they were proceeding as planned. The first Legionary wave, which consisted of 5,000 men, moved fast towards the giant base with the usage of their invisibility cloaks. As they finally came upon the edge of the giant base, an alarm was heard and all the spaceships going in and out stopped moving. The cloaking technologies of the Roman legions suddenly stopped functioning when the first wave came upon a massive barrage of laser beam missiles and shots from all directions. Many in the first wave of the Legionary Space Marines were instantly killed. However, these were the elite of the Roman legions, and they pushed forward, firing their laser weapons, handheld missile launchers, and throwing grenades back and forth. This was the start of the Moon Wars, the very first Earth-alien moon battle, a battle that one could compare to the events of the Allied invasion on D-Day in 1944. In the midst of the heavy space battle, all exterior alien ships of their largest scales, being around 60 meters wide and 100 meters long, sent down upon the Space Legion's heavy beams of lights and simply vaporized them. The smaller alien spaceships immediately vanished into thin air, as these were the ships that were part of the civilizations from a distant part of the Milky Way galaxy that had achieved ways to bend space and time and cross other dimensions. But this was not the end of it, as the largest ships dropped down what appeared to be tall, white-colored alien beings. But that was not the end of it, as the largest ships dropped down what appeared to be tall, white-colored alien beings. These carried small handheld weapons along with what appeared to be swords that appeared out of thin air. These were the tall whites, and they were the elite guardian forces of the moon, with many space legionaries falling to the vast superior moon soldiers, mainly to the tall whites, which almost without any force sliced and shot their way through the space legionaries. The backup from the second, third, and the final fourth wave of the space legionaries came over the edge with their battleships, immediately firing away their most heaviest and most secret weapons, the so-called Zeus lights. As the ZLs hit the first tall white moon-based spaceships, it immediately incinerated them into nothing. Simply put, a powerful light was sent for about 3 seconds and then nothing. 20 more shots with ZLs hit the other remaining tall white spaceships and ultimately crushed their forces. Victory by the Roman Empire was close at hand, as the carriers of different space legionaries' flags were rushed along with the Empire's main flag of the Golden Eagle over a red cloth was close to be placed in the heart of the moon. The tall whites, realizing they were being crushed and were asking themselves how these lower civilized beings could acquire such weaponry, began to retreat into the main centered grey-colored cube-like building that appeared on top. The space legionaries followed in pursuit, while the ZLs were raining down upon all other surrounding buildings, causing a chain reaction of massive explosions. This reaction immediately uncovered to the legions about the hidden gates that open up from all over the moon's surface, as thousands of smaller circle-shaped spaceships came flying out. Few were hit by the LZs, as most spaceships, like the previous ones, disappeared into nothingness. All around light scattered dead alien forces, mainly tall whites, and large sections for the first wave of the space legionary forces. Seeing the gate to the oddly shaped main building which the tall whites were fleeing into was slowly being closed, one of the main battleships took aim and fired not one but 4 separate LZ shots against it. As they hit, most of the building came down onto itself, and in the midst of it all, it turned out the pyramid on top of the building slowly began to take off. The order came true that it could not escape like all the others. The battleships of the Roman Space Force fired with 2 shots each upon the pyramid ship, as it seemed that it would also disappear, as a giant circle of light began to grow around it. The LZ shots hit their points, and the pyramid slowly came crashing down. This was the first victory of the bloody battle between Rome's space legions and the moon alien forces. Stay tuned for the next part as Rome continues on towards the planet Mars.